February 3rd, 2026, 7:45 a.m. Arabian Sea Time. Three Iranian Shahed 139 drones, each packing over 1,000 pounds of explosives, are heading straight toward the heart of the US Navy. The USS Abraham Lincoln supercarrier. The alarm screens flash, radar locks engage, and warnings blare over the radio. But there is no response. The drones ignore all signals and keep approaching, a blatant act of provocation. But that is not all. Hundreds of miles away, in the tight choke point of the Strait of Hormuz, a US-flagged tanker, the Stena Imperative, is suddenly swarmed by 6 IRGC gunboats and a Muhajjal drone. This is a coordinated attack. The incident has already made headlines everywhere. And here are the specific details of the attack report. 7:45 a.m. local time. Three Iranian Shahed 139 drones slice through the morning haze at just 100 feet above the water. Their engines are screaming at 150 miles per hour, pointed like arrows straight at the USS Abraham Lincoln. They are closing the distance to America's 100,000-ton nuclear-powered floating fortress at a terrifying rate. The speed makes coffee cups rattle in the carrier's galley. On the bridge, the A-Search radar operator stares at a screen. Three contacts are inbound with an aggressive profile. His hand hovers over the alert button for exactly 2 seconds before he slams it down. The klaxon rips through every compartment on the ship. Pilots sprint toward their F-35s. Deck crews freeze mid-step. The entire strike group shifts from routine patrol mode to combat posture in under 90 seconds. The Iranian plan looks simple on paper. Send cheap drones to probe the defenses and see how America reacts. They want to grab intelligence or simply rattle some cages. At worst, they lose 3 expendable machines. At best, they embarrass the world's most powerful navy. But Iran is more ambitious than that. They know that if they approach this aircraft carrier, all eyes will be on them. This creates a criminal opportunity if they want to seize something else. For example, a US tanker 400 miles away near the Strait of Hormuz. 6 IRGC gunboats are already racing toward the Stena Imperative. This is a US-flagged tanker hauling military fuel. A Muhajjal 6 drone hovers overhead, camera rolling, waiting for the boarding party to make headlines. Iran is not running one operation, they are running 2 simultaneously. They think America will not notice until it is too late. But they are wrong. The 3 Shahed 139s fan out into a loose formation. The lead drone carries a camera pod. The 2 flankers drop even lower, skimming 50 feet above the waves. They are trying to slip under the carrier's long-range radar coverage. It is a tactic that works against outdated systems. The problem is, the Lincoln is not outdated. 300 miles out, an E-2D Advanced Hawkeye early warning aircraft picks up all 3 contacts. The rotating radar dish on its back sees everything. The A controller radios the carrier. Lincoln, this is Hawkeye. 3 bogies inbound. Bearing 045, speed 150 knots. Altitude under 200 feet. Assess hostile intent. The captain of the Lincoln does not flinch. He has seen this playbook before. Iranian drones love to buzz American warships to take pictures and then brag about it on state TV. Usually, the Navy responds with radio warnings, visual signals, or a flyby from a Super Hornet to shoo them away. But today, the captain decides to try something different. It is time to punish this provocation, and the US has the legal basis to do so. He picks up the handset, launched the Growler, an EA-18G Growler electronic warfare jet rolls onto the catapult. Twin engines spool up to full power. The catapult fires and the Growler rockets off the deck at 165 miles per hour. The Iranian drone operators sitting in a concrete bunker along the coast watch their video feeds with confidence. The carrier is right there, big, fat and slow. A perfect target for embarrassment. Then their screens flicker. The Growler is jamming. This is not raw brute force noise. That is for amateurs. This is precision electronic warfare. The aircraft transmits a carefully crafted signal that mimics the carrier's radar return, but shifted 3 miles to the east. To the Shahed's navigation system, it looks like the Lincoln just teleported sideways. The lead drone banks hard right, chasing the ghost. The 2 flankers follow like obedient puppies. All three are now flying toward the empty ocean. In the Iranian control bunker, confusion spreads. Where did the carrier go? One operator shouts. Another stabs at his keyboard, trying to reacquire the target. The video feed shows nothing but blue water. Their expensive reconnaissance mission is chasing thin air. Meanwhile, 400 miles northwest, the situation in the Strait of Hormuz is heating up. 6 IRGC Siraj-class gunboats, each capable of 60 knots, are closing in on the Stena Imperative from 3 directions. 2 boats per wave, machine guns mounted, crews shouting over loudspeakers. Stop engines! Prepare for inspection!
Checking catapult alignment now.
The tanker's captain, a veteran from Louisiana, watches through his binoculars. Without hesitation, he immediately signals for assistance. The response crackles back almost instantly. This is USS McFaul. We are 18 miles northeast of your position, altering course to intercept. ETA 12 minutes. Do not stop engines. Repeat, do not stop engines. This is a critical point at sea. You absolutely must not stop. If you stop, you will definitely not be safe. The captain pushes the throttle forward. The massive tanker groans and picks up speed. 15 knots, 18 knots, 20 knots. It is not fast, but it is better than sitting still. The IRGC boats split formation. 2 race ahead to cut off the tanker's escape route. The others flank the ship, all hang back waiting. The Mohajer 6 drone overhead zooms in for the perfect shot of Iranians boarding an American ship. Iran is betting that the US Navy is too far away. They think the tanker will have to stop before help arrives. They are about to learn why that bet was a mistake. Back in the Arabian Sea, the 3 Shahid drones realize they have been chasing a phantom. Their programming kicks in to return to the primary target. The lead drone scans and locks onto the real Lincoln, 3 miles west of where it thought it was. The drones accelerate to 150 miles per hour, heading straight for the carrier again. This time, Lincoln's response is kinetic. A single F-35C Lightning II, call sign Reaper 1, screams off the deck. The pilot is Captain Marcus Webb, a veteran with 1,200 flight hours and 0 patience for games. The F-35 climbs to 15,000 feet in under 60 seconds. Webb does not need to see the drones with his eyes. The aircraft sensor fusion system paints all 3 targets on his helmet display. Range 18 miles. Closure rate 600 knots. He selects his weapon, the AIM-120D AMRAAM. This is the most advanced air-to-air missile in the American arsenal. Webb locks the first target. The missile drops from the internal bay. The motor ignites and it is gone. 15 seconds later, the lead Shahed detonates in a brilliant orange fireball. Webb does not hesitate. He locks the second contact and another missile streaks out. Another violent flash and 2 Shaheds are gone. The third drone reacts instantly. It breaks formation, snaps into a hard left bank and dives straight toward the waves. It is flying on panic and inertia. Webb stays high and does not fire. The Shahed skims the surface at full throttle, meters above the water. It is too fast and too low. Its cheap guidance system cannot cope with the curvature of the waves and the sea spray. A second later, it clips the ocean. There is no explosion, just a violent white
With the close
splash
of day,
and then nothing.
the gunboats
Total
retreat
elapsed
from the
time
Strait
from
of
first
Hormuz,
launch to last
maintaining
kill,
their presence in these
84
vital
seconds.
waters.
On the Iranian coast, the control bunker is silent. 3 video feeds are black. 3 drones are gone. The mission commander's face drains of color as he reaches for the phone. But in the Strait of Hormuz, the second half of the operation is still in motion. The 6 IRGC gunboats have the Stena Imperative surrounded. 2 boats cross the bow, forcing the tanker to reduce speed or risk a collision. The tanker's captain is out of options. Alarms continue to blare, urging him to turn off the engines. This is a life or death race against time.
As you can see, the
Either
recent
Iran
disruptions in the
successfully
Gulf of
lands
Oman
on
are
the ship,
impacting key
or the
shipping
US
lanes
escort
through the Strait of
arrives.
Hormuz.
The
We are
second
monitoring
scenario
the
is
situation
what happens.
closely.
As the captain moves
This
his
is the
hand
primary
toward
target
the
area,
throttle,
General.
his
We need
radar
to move the
operator
mechanized
shouts,
infantry
"Contact
here."
bearing
That exposes the
045,
flank.
high
We should
speed."
use the special
It's a
force.
warship. The USS McFaul, an Arleigh-Burke-class destroyer, appears on the horizon. 9,200 tons of American steel, SPY-1D radar, and 96 vertical launch cells. The destroyer does not waste time. It lights up the IRGC boats with fire-controlled radar. To the Iranians, It feels like having a sniper's laser sight on your forehead. Iran is harassing a US-flagged merchant ship in international waters. This provides a legitimate basis for self-defense. To emphasize the point, MacFall's 5-inch gun swivels toward the nearest gunboat. The barrel elevates and fires. The shell screams overhead and detonates 200 yards in front of the lead IRGC boat. The explosion throws up a column of water 80 feet high. The shock wave rocks the small boat violently. A second shell lands 100 yards to the left of the second boat. The warning is clear. The next rounds will not miss. Simultaneously, an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter lifts off from the MacFall. It is armed with Hellfire missiles and a door-mounted machine gun. It races towards the boats at 150 knots, flying low and loud. The IRGC commander watches the destroyer's gun swivel toward him. His instinct screams to retreat, but his orders were to make the Americans blink first. He accelerates instead. The 6 gunboats split into 2 groups. 3 charge directly at the destroyer, weaving at 60 knots. The other 3 circle behind the tanker, trying to create a crossfire. The US commander watches the tactical display. The Phalanx CIWS system spins up automatically, tracking all targets. The combat system calculates intercept solutions for all 6 boats simultaneously. That is when the calculation changes for the Iranians. The commander realizes the opponent could easily overwhelm his entire team. He gives the order to retreat. The 6 boats break formation and scatter. They race back toward Iranian territorial waters at maximum speed. The Mohajir 6 drone also retreats toward the safety of Iranian airspace. Within 90 seconds, the entire assault force is in full retreat. The destroyer falls into formation alongside the tanker, weapons ready. The message is clear. Touch this ship again, and there will be consequences. Back on the USS Abraham Lincoln, Captain Webb's F-35 lands on the deck. Intelligence officers are already analyzing the engagement. The electronic warfare worked perfectly, but the analysts are worried. This was a coordinated probe. Iran wanted to see how the US would respond to a 2-front scenario. Everyone knows this was not the end. It was a rehearsal. Iran learned that America's electronic warfare is sophisticated. They learned that F-35s can kill multiple targets in under 2 minutes. And they learned that destroyers will respond with overwhelming force. But America also learned that Iran is willing to coordinate complex operations and gamble. The next 48 hours are tense. Iranian state media spins the story as a heroic reconnaissance mission. American media reports it as a routine defensive action. In Tehran, military planners review the data and adjust their plans for the next round. In Washington, the incident is framed as a success of deterrence. The Arabian Sea returns to its normal rhythm. Carriers patrol, destroyers escort, and tankers haul fuel. The surface looks calm, but the tension underneath is coiling tighter. Every move reveals information. Every engagement teaches a lesson. Iran now knows that swarming works only if they commit fully. 3 drones are a nuisance, but 50 drones are a problem. America is now updating protocols and running simulations of worst-case scenarios. Next time, the stakes will be higher, and the margin for error will be thinner. If you were running Iran's military strategy right now, what would your next move be?
Switching to stabilized
Would you go all in with a massive drone swarm or shift to cyber warfare? Drop your answer in the comments. If you want to see what happens in the next round, hit the subscribe button. Glory to those who defend freedom. See you in the next breakdown.